Okay, good morning. How are you up and running? Monday morning here in Asakusa after another busy weekend. I keep saying the same thing every time, but that's true. Asakusa just keeps getting busier and crazier. It's basically back to normal, except without the foreigners. Another sunny day, another beautiful autumn day here in Tokyo. Oh, I see I've got the camera. Okay, I've got the camera turned a little bit further to the right than it normally does. Sorry about that. We can't see the donkey building down there. And there's garbage. It's Monday morning, so there's been no cleanups yet. I haven't done any of my cleanup yet outside. Too busy me. I get to the pool instead. I'm selfish now. I had to do my own cleanup instead of the outside cleanup. After the stream's over, I'll do that. The people at the restaurant next door won't be here till nearly noon, so that'll be on me to do that. And there's a bunch of leaves. The tree is dropping leaves. So, and this gives us a better view of the ninja group. They should be here this morning, somewhere just about the time we're closing. They should be getting ready to open up. They were crazy busy on the weekend. Crazy busy. There was one group. We've got used to this now. We don't go running outside every time they start one of their theatrical experiences outside. When we hear the yelling and shouting, we know now it's not drunks, it's not a fight, it's the ninja guys. So we basically ignore it. But one of them yesterday, the kids' voices were a bit different from normal, so I went out there to see what was going on, and it was 4 little girls. And there's no way these are school kids yet. These are preschoolers. They're, I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old. They're like up to my kneecaps. There were 4 of them in their little black outfits with their little black swords, and they were having the time of their life, absolute time of their life. And it was clear they weren't going to be afraid of this guy at all. So he really poured it on. I've told you before, sometimes, the bad guy, the guy who plays the bad guy, he gets a bit rich with this, and kids have started crying and stuff like this. So I guess he's learning how to moderate this. But these 4 kids yesterday, these 4 little girls, they could handle anything. So he poured it on, and they poured it on, and he poured it on, and it was just great fun to watch. I just stood there for like 15, 20 minutes wasting time watching this and just laughing my face off, and the mothers are just having so much fun taking pictures and video and all this stuff, Ninjets. So. Paper is out. It's out for Rei-chan. She's doing the Urashima Taro print in the Mystique of the Japanese print series. We're out of that. We've been out of it for a while. There's customers who are waiting for it and who are backlogged. And she's catching up. She should be finished it maybe today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Okay, mail call. I know there's a new letter, and I forgot. This actually arrived up, I think it was the day after my birthday, and I put it here, and something else went in front of it, and I forgot. Mom, I'm sorry. It's my birthday card from my mother, and she got it here basically on time, and here I am 2 weeks later opening it. Will she ever forgive me? How funny. It's not just a picture either. Look at this. It's not just actually a picture. It's made of, it's made like a guitar rosette. It's made up of all, what has she done here? It's all curly coiled bits of paper. How did they do this? Do they make them one at a time, or do they make a long sausage and slice it up? I don't know. This is cool. Mom, thank you very much. On theme here. Look at that. That was not a 99-cent birthday card. Thank you very much. It's paper, I think. It's stiff paper, like colored paper. Sliced, it's coiled really tightly. I think it's glued in there. Coiled really tight. Let's find a website. There must be a website here. Here. This stream brought to you by. Got it? Oh, somebody's got it. Somebody's already onto this. Paper quilling. This is new to me. I mean, I knew about the idea about curling up paper, but no. Private message. We're okay. I'm sure there's no super private message. Happy birthday. This is my mother's. Well, here we are. Here's the information on this card. Can you catch the? For people that are interested, let's do this. Maybe you can catch the. If I sit still for a minute. Video. I will have to look at this later. Is that QR code strong enough to come through? Okay, there you go. Handcrafted in Vietnam, it says. Thank you, Mom. I'm sorry to have missed this. I don't think it'll be a for me video. It's actually printed on this, it's on a generic card here. It's not on the card itself. There's another one on the card itself. No, it's the same QR code. I don't think that's a special private video for me. I think it's a generic video. We'll see. If it's a special private message to me from my mom, you can enjoy it. And then the other one, this, now I know what this is. This is an early Christmas card. And Shimizu-san, you've got to look up this lady, Linita Shimizu. She's got a website, which probably won't be in here because this is just going to be a Christmas card. Can somebody find it? Linita Shimizu. She has a website. I think it's called Shimizu. It might be shimizuprints.com or something like this. I don't know. There's no website listed on the back. And it's a message. It's their family Christmas card, which they send out with pictures and stuff. So we don't need to put that on the internet. I think it's up to her. And she's a woodblock printmaker, but she doesn't make a handmade printed card each year. She probably sends to way, way too many people. So Linita-san, you're probably not here, but thank you very much. Very, very nice lady. I've met her twice. When I went to visit Matt Brown, printmaker in New Hampshire, I went to visit him, I think it was 1998 or 1999. And there was something on. He took me up there, or something was going on where there were different printmakers together. No, she came over. I don't remember. She maybe came over to Matt's place while I was there, and I met her then. Really super nice lady. She was here in Japan long before I was here. I came in, I think the first time 1979 or 1980, and she was here way before this. She was studying printmaking with a printmaker whose name I don't remember, down in Kyoto. Information will be on her website. There it is, shimizuwoodcuts.com. So, and she's fully professional. She's been making a living at this for a long time, much longer than me. But she didn't stay here in Japan to do it. She came here to Japan to learn and practice and do that sort of stuff, and then go back to the States. And she's done the same thing. She's taken, same thing as Matt Brown has done, taken the basics of the Japanese craft, the techniques, but she's not interested in making pictures of Japanese stuff, like geisha and whatever. She makes art irrelevant to what she sees in her life around her. So it's the best possible combination. Reasonable prices too, all that kind of stuff. She does limited editions, I guess, because that's her thing. Modern artists do that. But no, she's one of the pioneers here in the 21st century pioneers. Now this is small. Today's is small, and I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. When you look at this, we've done these last couple in the bath. I did most of this one, I think, offline the last Thursday and Friday. And then we've now got this next one, and it's mostly empty space. Thanks, Jed. It's okay, mostly empty space. But the two characters are very, very small up there. Here's my finger for comparison here. That's no big deal. We can do this, but I don't know how visible it's going to be for everybody watching here. So we'll do what we can. And I can tease a little bit of news in that I have ordered another camera. Camera, we're going to test replacing this camera, the camera that's showing you the view you see down here. It's not actually full HD, it's giving me 720, but we're broadcasting in 1080, so what you're seeing here is being artificially scaled up to 1080. But I have ordered a new camera which will give us hopefully clean, sharp 1080 on this view as well. So if I can get that set up properly, we should get a clearer view of this part of the thing. It's not 4K, this whatever. There's no point in trying to do 4K here. We're streaming a 1080 stream, so. Jacques is asking about this. Can I capture the kid action across the street? That's a real touchy thing. It's really touchy. The mothers are out there with their cameras, but whenever there's kids involved, somebody else to bring their camera in. This is difficult and this is touchy. In fact, there's a very famous daycare center / Hoikuen, daycare place down the street here, attached to Sensoji Temple. and the kids go in there like around 8:30 or so. The kids go in and they play outside in the yard, and there are red signs all over the place. Don't even think about taking pictures of these kids. Blah 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 blah. And the ladies from the Hoika, when they come out, they put the little kids in the trolleys and run them around town to take them to the park to go for walks and stuff. And the tourists love that. Click, click, click. And those trolleys now have a big sign on the side. It's your standard red circle with a camera inside and a mark. No photography. So Jacques, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Pictures of kids here in Japan is these days a very, very sensitive subject. So I don't know about other countries. Is it the same in other countries or not? I don't know. But the mood in Japan is touchy. You know? And then the other thing too, even if I did take such pictures to come here and put them on the internet without those families' permission, that's really a no-go. Really a no-go. So that's going to be one thing I'm sorry I won't be able to cooperate with. You know? Says Dave, who just puts a random camera outside on the street and puts random people's faces on the internet. Okay, sorry. It's kids. It's the thing about kids is touchy. You know, so. Jacques, next time you're here, if the world ever comes back to that situation, next time you're here, book a session over at the Ninja together with the little kids. You know. I have seen one once, and it's mostly they seem to be doing this for little kids, but I did see one. It was a week ago or a couple of weeks ago. There was a young man, maybe in his 20s or something. He must have booked a private session in you know, sword play or whatever they call it. And it wasn't the usual thing with the bad guy chasing him down the street. It was simply swords, swords, swords. So the young guy from the ninja group, who seems to be the most adept at the sword drawing and stuff like that. And they had a session. I forget what it's called. There's an actual thing. You know, judo is there, aikido. There's one where you've got a sword, and the whole art is simply your stance and the draw. And I think that's one of these martial arts in itself. And that's basically all you do is you draw, and you put it away, you stance, and you start again. And they were practicing this for a long, long, long time. I forget what it's called. I have to say the ninja guys have added color and interest to our district. You know, I really wasn't quite sure at the beginning, and then that day the police visited. I was like, whoa, where's this going? But it really seems that there's been no long-lasting trouble. They seem to be getting along with the lady next door. So far, we're just in the positive, I think. Whether they can sustain their business, I have no idea. And the kids themselves are very, very pleasant, very nice people. The wood here on this block, we have a little bit of a problem. We talked about this. Let me zoom out just for a second here. I picked this block as being one of the hardest things we've got in our warehouse, and put this on and started carving. And this was okay. It was quite hard, not specifically rock hard, but quite hard. Then when I used the second half of it to start doing Jed's part, I realized that the core heartwood was here, and this part was really rock hard. Absolutely rock hard. And I was thinking, fantastic. I should have done it the other way around. But the problem now is, as I get farther and farther and farther up the wood here, the base of the tree must have been down here at the right somewhere. And then this was hard, and it got blah, blah, blah. And now where we are now, actually it's quite fibrous. And it's too bad, because this is the smallest scale, most delicate carving on this block, and it's no longer on the hardest place. And there's really no way to tell all these things. But if I had known that or realized that or tested that before we started, I would have put this one down here at this side, the hardest part of the wood. And this one, big fat lines could have come up at the other end. But I didn't know, and there's really no way to find out. You can touch your chisel at part of a place to see how generally hard it is. But until you start scooping out and cutting all kinds of lines, you really can't tell. So we're okay on this, but it will at some point limit it how many hundreds of copies we can take off these. This is softer than I would like, so the block will give up earlier than I would have liked. I don't know. Did he just pick up a can? Is that what happened there? Yeah, we've got a gyrometer upstairs, the moisture meter for wood, and the hardness. The hardness thing is what? It's a little metal steel ball you press into it, but it's destructive, It's destructive. We can't actually, we need the perfectly flat, smooth surface, so we can't, press that ball into the wood here and there at random places. One can down, one to go. I don't know. Who knows? The gyrometer. We've got a moisture scale upstairs where it's got the two prongs. You stick those into the wood to get your reading out of the moisture. I am looking forward today. Aoyama-san is coming back to work today. He's been off since last Wednesday, and he's been on a field trip. He and Asuka Sensei, Asuka Motoharu, the two of them went down to somewhere in the mountains of Aichi Prefecture. They had a lead. People have been passing leads around, and they had a lead that a guy had some wood, a whole pile of mountain cherry, Yamazakura, that had apparently been cut years ago, and it was sitting there and he didn't know what to do with it. So this was a top secret mission. They went down there Thursday, stayed over Thursday night up in the mountains there, talked to the guy on Friday. And I haven't heard back from him yet, which makes me think there probably wasn't any spectacular treasure found, or he would have emailed me with an exclamation mark or something. But we'll see. He'll be in today and giving his report and letting me know what they found, if anything. So we'll see. I'll be able to pass that on to you come Thursday. And they may have actually, bought some and had it arranged to have it sent back. I don't know. We'll see. This corner is way too soft and spongy. You just can't win. Just can't win. Hearing those footsteps just now, I can't hear these days actually. Hearing the footsteps just now reminds me that this morning, just after I got back from the pool, about 7:40 or somewhere around there, 7:40, 7:45, I was outside here just coming in, opening the door, and the original shoe lady walked by on the other side of the street. I wouldn't actually have recognized her because she's got different shoes these days, something that's not quite as strongly bang, 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 bang down the street. But it was the same lady, the same walk, the same stance. She's a little bit older, it seems, whatever, and quieter shoes. But the same lady was still there going by. She goes by about, it seems, in 7:45 or somewhere around there. So all is actually okay with the world. Things are running as they should. But see, hearing her with her new type of shoes, she would never have qualified as a shoe lady. Any contact from Cameron yet? Cameron is back on board. I had a long Skype conversation with him on Saturday, 2 days ago. My Saturday, must have been his Friday or something. Cameron is back on board. And in fact, since then, after the Skype conversation, I released the baton, passed the baton touch to him, and I haven't looked at the mailbox since then. Cameron is back on board. He's handling all the order processing. He's handling everything that has to do with the contact with customers and orders and stuff like that. Cameron is back alive. I don't have any special news about him. He didn't really bring me up. They've found a place to live, I guess, and they're settled down. They're in a place near, it's the Washington, D.C. area. He told me the name. Burke, B-U-R-K-E, I think was the village next to it. I remember the village next to it. I don't remember the place it was. Burke. And is that Virginia or Maryland? Virginia, kind of. Anyway, that's the area he's in. And he seemed quite settled, seemed happy, ready to get back to work. So he's been totally off. He's simply totally off, and now he's back to work. And we have no idea how the scheduling is going to work. You know, the ladies here in Ome are shipping ladies. The normal process for us is many of our customers are overseas in North America. And they will put orders in during their day and or evening. During the day. So when we wake up here in Japan, the mailbox is usually full of orders and questions and comments and emails and stuff like that. So the normal job for Cameron before, when he was living here in Japan, is in the morning when he got to work, or 8:30 or 9 or something, he would have done those orders so that it would be ready for the shipping staff to start shipping when they get here at 9:30, 10. They don't get here all that early because they have family to feed and get off to school and stuff like that first. So they will arrive here at 9:30 or 10. And this means that Cameron, in order to do that job from where he is, he's going to have to do it as an evening shift. So he will probably have dinner or something over there, whatever, with his family. Put the kids to bed or something, I don't know. And then he will sit down at the computer at his end, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the evening, process all those orders, and send it all through to our shipping staff here in Ome. So that really won't change, except that for him, instead of working in the morning, he'll be working in the evening. But then the problem comes is as the shipping staff moves along during the day, if they have problems or questions or something needs adjustment, they can't do that because Cameron will now be gone and in bed. So we're going to have to see how this works. You know, if they have anything to talk to him about or any communication with him, it's going to have to be done first thing in the morning for them. It should be doable. And for me now, being off that job, I am now getting on with the next thing, and I'll be doing sizing for the rest of the day today. And then the next day after that, Tuesday, for me, I have got to get started on the next video. I've got to get moving on the next video. So now that I don't have to do the emails and stuff like that, processing for Ome, my priority is going to be getting this block set finished and the next video out the door. Play button, they're asking about the play button. Yes, I have to do something about that too, of course. So that's not actually the number one priority. For video, I've got to get a video with real content out first. I'm not sure. I've got sort of two of them halfway mentally prepared in sort of what to do and talk and stuff like that. I'm not sure which one to do first. One of them is a David's Choice video talking about a set of prints that's here. But another one is a video, it's the next one in the Beginnings series. And that's also under high request. It'll be Beginnings Part 3. And that would be the video that sort of covers the years of making the Poets series, the 10-year project. So I have to decide tonight or tomorrow, decide which one of those to green light and start. And then get done. And then after that video, there will be I guess the YouTube unboxing video, and then I've got to get the early update video, because that has to get out of here December 15th or so, something like that, announcing this series and that sort of thing. So yeah. But it'll be good to get back to that. I miss the videos. It's fun making them, and it's real fun after putting up a new video, reading all the comments and stuff. And I miss that stuff. In the pool this morning, or in the locker room anyway, after swimming this morning, I was chatting a little bit with one of the guys. I've gradually become bit by bit, familiar. There's the same people every day, every morning, whatever. So they don't talk to you at first, but after, you keep coming back day after day after day, week after week, they get the idea you're regular and pick up a bit of conversation. And I learned something funny this morning in the locker room there after the swim. And I was going to say an elderly gentleman, whatever. It's just another guy just like me, whatever. Older guy. And he does the same thing as me. He gets in the pool and he swims for about 15, 20 minutes, sort of gasping, and then that's enough. Out he goes. And then he heads for the actual bath and stuff, So this morning, actually, for the first time, I had a lane all to myself. I've been sharing a lane with this certain guy and sharing a lane with another guy, whatever. There's been pretty much two of us, But today, as it happens, I had a lane all by myself, and it really seemed like there weren't too many people in the pool today. There's 7 lanes, and there was only about 10 or 11 people there. And as it turned out, as I said, I got a lane by myself, you know. And the guy, he told me something funny. We're in there, you know, get in the bath, get washed, get in the towel room. So I got to get out of there because it's a stream in like 15 minutes. So this is now 7:45, whatever. I'm sort of getting ready to go. And he decides to start chatting. And I'm like, I don't want to reject the chat because finally, after being there for a few weeks, he started to speak to me and I'm be accepted, whatever. But I gotta go. I got to stream at 8 o'clock. So I want to look friendly, and everybody's in a really cool, relaxed mood. He's probably going to sit there for an hour, you know, in a relaxation room. So whatever. So I tried to respond to the conversation, and yet I've also got to, you know, like I got to get to work. You know? But he said something interesting. He said, "I saw you had a lane by yourself today, right?" I said, "Yeah." Cool. This is really cool. You know, at a very rare occasion. He said, "No, that's normal." I'm like, "What do you mean normal? It's been like there's been 20 people." So he said, No. That was a bump because there's been a campaign, a new membership campaign during the month of November. And the regulars know what happens. There's a new membership campaign a couple times a year, whatever. And of course, during that campaign, new people start. So for the regulars, oh, here comes the gang of new people, and it gets crowded for a while. And he says, it doesn't last more than a couple of weeks. And he says, we're now back down to what it was before the campaign. So that's how fast it sort of rolls over, the beginning of November. And I was one of them. I didn't actually know there was a campaign going on. I just went down there because it was my birthday, and I went in there and signed up. But it turned out there was a campaign, so I saved a bunch of money. So what I was seeing was the bump of the new campaign, the Autumn Get Fit campaign. I was seeing the bump from that. And he says, it's pretty much finished. And it's funny, though, because he's saying this to me, who is like a campaign, as far as he knows, I'm a campaign member. So he's thinking, how long is this guy going to last, whatever. I think maybe the fact that this is now my, 3rd week? I can't remember, whatever. I'm not keeping track that well. But so I guess I've passed the first test. I've come back more than like twice or something like this. It must be, I guess that must be the way fitness clubs make their living, I guess. I don't know. They get new members. I think they're not evil to do this. They want new members, come in, get fit. You know, that's their business model. And the fact that people quit, it's not like an evil thing run by fitness centers. Get everybody to sign up and then encourage them to leave. Because they don't. They encourage. There's signs for lessons and there's help and the staff is friendly. They're doing, like, as far as I can see, they're doing whatever they can to, you know, to get people get going on this and get through this, you know. And it was funny. He waved his hand and said, no, this is back to normal. I guess until the next campaign, I don't know. I guess it'll be New Year's time will be the next one. I don't know. I'm a newbie here, so I don't know the routine. But, so I walk out there. I did have to tell him, look, I'm sorry, I know my job starts at 8 o'clock. And he says, really? Mo, you got to get going. You know. So it's friendly. I told him I had to get to work, you know. But there it is now. So I now, having heard this, I now feel like I'm an insider. After only 2 weeks, I'm an insider already. So there must be something like the regulars, when they see these people come in, they sort of, look at this guy, here he goes. He's going to last, let's see, he'll do a month or something, or he's going to last 2 days. They're probably even betting on it or something like this. When people come in, like, how long is this guy going to last, you know? I don't know. I guess bit by bit I will learn the culture of the place, and I'll be one of those. I'll be eventually. I'm not yet, but eventually I'll be part of the in group and looking at the new people coming in. You know, it's funny. And there are absolutely different kinds of people. I said the other day, there's the real serious ones. You don't talk to them. Their eyes are cold and hard, and they get in there, bang, 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 tick, tick, out, bang, 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 shower, and then zoop, they're gone. There are the people who are really super calculated, controlled. They're not there to hang out or to be friendly or whatever, you know. And you keep out of their way. I mentioned that before, the lady in the pool the other day, you know, you just keep out of her way. It's okay, no problem. The other thing I learned too is I was really, really curious about this at first, but now I'm thinking maybe I kind of get the idea. When you're a member, there's a policy about guests. I didn't ask this at first, but I saw it on a poster, explains what's going on in the changing room there. They do have a guest policy where you can bring a guest. And it's a ticket plan. You the member, you have to go down to the front desk there and you buy a guest ticket. And you're limited in how many you can buy each month. And what I'm paying with me, my fee for using this place is 4,400 yen per month. That's 4,400 yen per month. So it's about 35 bucks or $38, whatever. And that sounds pretty cheap, but I can't use the facility. I have what's called a morning plan. I can only use it from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock each day, and I can't use it on the weekends or holidays. So this is their cheap plan for morning members. And it's 4,400 yen. If I was a full member, I forget the number, it's something like 10,000, 11,000. So full membership is something like $90 US per month, and my little morning membership is something under half of that. But the guest ticket price, and I was curious what's the guest ticket price to bring a guest in for one session is 4,000 yen, which is almost as much as I pay for the full month. I didn't ask about this. I have no, whatever. There's nobody around me here to be a guest and stuff, so I didn't ask. But I'm curious about why they would make the guest tickets so expensive. I guess they've had demand for this, so they have to offer it, but they've made the price kind of high so that it doesn't happen too much or too often, I guess. And I don't know. And it may be related to the thing about the new membership. What they want people who are thinking about joining, they sort of don't want them to try it out first as a guest, I think. They want them to just, pay the fee and get in there and use the place. I don't know. Start the chat from the pool. What's this? John, I don't think I was going to ask John. So. So I think they don't want guests, like a pool filtration fee. I don't know. No, I had no intention of doing that. Yeah. Come to Mokuhankan. There's no more print parties, but we're going to start pool parties. Right? So, not. There's demand for print parties. I'm getting emails. Did I tell you a lady knocked at the door the other day when I was here? She just knocked on the door. I'm like, yeah, come on in. And she asked for a print party for her husband and 2 daughters. And and emails. There was a phone call the other day from a school group. They want classes. No, no, can do. But there's demand. We created that product, built it up over years. And clearly there's huge demand in society for experiences. We knew that. And we built that demand, and no idea. But I can see that's going to be sort of a specter that's going to haunt us for years, There'll be people coming in here decades from now, What time does the next party start, This guy is smiling. Can we catch it? So what's that? Is that the hotel vacuum cleaner? Sounds awfully loud. Is it a drill or a vacuum cleaner? So I turn down the outside camera a bit. Dentist nightmare. Let me turn down the outside camera just a bit. Minus 21 dB. Let's go to 29 dB. Let me know if that's loud enough. Oh, the Hiroshi Yoshida prints. So Flyfish is asking about this. Flyfish, put the link back in. Put the link back in. I know Flyfish for Fun here asked something the other day. I know I saw it when I was rereading the chat at lunchtime. I went over there to look at it. This is really, really interesting stuff. Put the link back in. Somebody, well, whatever, the gallery or whatever there, somebody has obviously been talking to Asakusa Yoshida. Hiroshi Yoshida was the printmaker in the first part of the 20th century. His son Toshi Yoshida was famous in the middle part of the 20th century, died in the 1900s. And the grandson now, Asakusa Yoshida, has the house with a whole bunch of stuff in it. And somebody on auction here, floatingworld.com, has scored some very, very, very unusual proof sheets, and I think that the auction is describing them as hunched. I can't remember what the auction is describing them as. There's 4 items on there, and they're being said to be line drawings or hunchta from making Yoshida Hiroshi prints, but they show corner registration marks. These look like the Kyogo Zuri, the color. The sheet that's printed from a finished key block when you were starting to make your color blocks. And I guess they must have been released by Asakusa-san. It says on the auction that verified by the Yoshida family member from whom we got them, blah, 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 which I assume must be Asakusa-san. Although there are other family members involved too as well. And I'm really, I want to see one of these close up, because Yoshida, certainly at the time when designs like that were being made, he would draw stuff, of course, with a brush and a line and a pencil and all stuff like that. But most of those prints weren't carved by hand. That line work wasn't pasted onto a block and carved. In the early days they did, later no. That line work went under a camera, it was photographed, it went out to a printing company to make what's called an iron bun, a zinc plate. And the zinc plate was screwed on to a piece of cherry wood, chopped out where it needed to be to make it deep, and that was the key block. They would carve registration marks on it, and then they would take proof copies from that, and the color blocks were carved on cherry. This was the standard operating procedure for the Hiroshi Yoshida prints for all of the last couple of decades of his life. So what we see here now is a sheet of paper with the lines on it and with the black corner registration marks on it. So this looks like the drawing. If it's their normal operating procedure, the drawing has been sent out for photography. iron bond made, and what we're seeing here is one of the transfer sheets that was used to make color separations. Have we crashed it? Whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. What I don't know, I don't know. It could be the other way around. Perhaps this is a drawing and it's done on a sheet, and they've got some standard printed sheets ready with the corner marks already on them, and they put their drawing onto that sheet ready to be pasted down for carving. So I don't know from what I can see on the internet pictures. Is this ready for carving? Is this already carved? Is this photographic key block that has now been printed? I don't know which of those it is without getting the thing in my hand and getting a closer look at it, which I'm obviously not going to have a chance to do. So I don't know. Also, why did these things not become woodblock prints? Did he prepare, presumably he prepared more drawings than were necessary and stuff like that. They had really a major factory operation going. So it's quite possible that stuff didn't get made. They prepared more stuff. Which ones should we send through to production? Things like this. The other really, really, really interesting thing to think about is that Hiroshi Yoshida's copyrights no longer exist. His work is in the public domain. So those images that we see on that website are in the public domain. So a couple of things I'd like to know about those. I'd like to look at them and inspect them. It also says they come with a certificate of authenticity, blah, 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 verified by a Yoshida family member. I would like to see that because I'd like to know which family member had these things. So I would like more info on this. As far as buying them, ha. Actually, I think they're sold anyway, those sheets. But is there more information on them coming up here in the chat? Well, they are Hiroshi lines. The lines that you see there, that is his style, This is not ukiyo-e delicate brushwork. This is semi-brushwork, semi-pen drawing, lots of circular looping around to give water lines and stuff like that. They do look like his work. Quick sketches of the key to be used to mark up. No. From the artist's grandson. Well, that would mean Tsukasa-san then. So this is Tsukasa-san who has dropped these on the market. I mean, this is not the case with Toshi Yoshida, but with Hiroshi Yoshida, all of his work now is clearly in the public domain. He has been dead for more than 70 years. So even though there's confusion in Japan at the moment as to how long copyright lasts, due to the law change that is sort of happening and is sort of not happening, it is clear 70 years for sure. And Yoshida's been dead for 70. He died in when? 51 or 52? 1951, I think. 51 or 52, I can't remember. So we're there, I think, in terms of Hiroshi Yoshida. It's not the case with Hasui. He died in 57, so his works are still a bit iffy at the moment. So yeah, so anybody could make reproductions of Yoshida's work. And the print shop in the Nakamise here, they've been selling for years. They've been selling color photocopies of Yoshida prints. They sell them as prints, Japanese woodblock print designs. They're called color copies, and they sell them in frames so that people can't touch them and have a look at them. And it's big business for them, or it has been during the tourist years. Probably their biggest seller. Original Japanese woodblock print designs. So these drawings you're looking at there on that for sale site, they could be turned into woodblock prints if somebody wanted to give it a go. For us at Mokuhankan, something like that would be a cool challenge, but we would have to spend a lot of resources on it, and our point of view is let's use those resources making new stuff. Why bother going back making reproductions of Yoshida prints? They're there, you know. We can make new, interesting work of our own. So, speaking of which, I saw last night the latest proof copies of the Evening Bell in our 8 Views of Cats series. Everybody thinks this stuff's dead. It's not dead. It's moving forward. I saw 2 things. I saw the latest proofs of Evening Bell. They're still not there. We still have lots more work to do for it before we can even show it in public. But we moved another few steps forward. Then the other thing I saw last night, and I worked on together with John-san, he has almost finished carving the key block on the 4th print, the Descending Geese print in our 8 Views of Cats. And he had a rough outline of what he wanted to do for color separations. So he brought him over to me yesterday afternoon. We spread him out on the floor, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's okay, 7, 8. And he puts out 2 more, 9, 10. He looks at me and he puts out 2 more, 11, 12. And I'm like, John-san, how many more in your package? He says, no, that's it, Dave. So whatever. So it looks like our first shot of this is 12 faces, 6 pieces of wood, 12 faces. Although some of them may double up, whatever. Someone's asking, can I read any of the Japanese notes written on the sketches? What are we talking about here? Sketches. Oh, is this back still talking about the Yoshida Hiroshi stuff? I didn't really notice any Japanese writing here. I'm sorry, I didn't. The things I was most interested in were the 2 prints that were clearly the 2 key block prints. There was some other sort of test stuff I didn't really look at. I'll go back and look at it later. So. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Yes, in Germany, 70s, it's death plus 70. Japan now has unified their copyright protection with the one common in the EU, which is death plus 70 in the case of personal works. It's not so clear what copyrights are in works that were made for hire, where the company said to somebody, here, draw me this picture, here's your money, thank you, this is now ours. And those things are not so clearly covered by death plus 70. It's the Mickey Mouse question, stuff like that. But for the things we're talking about here, Yoshida Hiroshi, it's death plus 70. So, and he's in the clear now. Seems awfully noisy out there. Is it the garbage truck? I see. Very spongy wood up here. Look at this. Look, you can see the fibrousness. You can see the individual fibers of this stuff. It doesn't want to slice up. It just wants to tear. Down at the other end of the block, it was so nice, but up here, it's fibrous. I don't know how long these blocks are going to last. I don't know. Alright, I think that's the character. Let's do some crunch. Let's get on the outside. Oh, I forgot to. We've got some crunch left over from the previous one. Soka. Someone's asking about audio dropouts and stuff. I'm clear at this end. This is showing green all across. I've figured out the Wi-Fi here. I've told the Wi-Fi to stay on the same Wi-Fi instead of changing to the Wi-Fi upstairs. And the Mac, is it warm? It's a tiny, I can feel a tiny bit of warmth on the case. It's not cold like the Woodblock is cold. The Mac here has a tiny bit of warmth. There's no fans running. I can't hear anything. It's alive, there's warmth, but this is 3 video cameras coming in, streaming, and it's like not doing anything. No noise, no fan noise at all. I doubt I will ever hear those fans, the kind of work I do with this computer. Fibrous, God. Look at this. Nanda. Their kids' voices. Is that the ninja place already? We lift up that corner there. I didn't see this. What's happening here in this corner? Oh, look at that. I lifted up the corner. I touched the corner, nicked it. So, look at that. I nicked the corner. Let's see what we can do here. I don't think we need a chop out repair. I've just nicked the corner here, this little bit of wood, see here, lifted up. Not sure if I came by the wrong way with the wrong grain or whatever, not sure what happened there. But what we can do, step one, first try, this may or may not work. We can put a tiny bit of dab of glue under there, we'll see. No glue in the old days, of course, but step one, this may cover it. If this doesn't, then later we'll have to do an actual lift-off repair, dig out repair. So let's see. Did you see it happen? I didn't see it happen, actually. Where is it? I lost. Here. Now this might work, we'll see. When we do test printing, it might come off the moisture from the glue, The other thing that's really a saving grace too, when we do the first test printing with sumi pigment, the sumi itself has actually quite a lot of glue inside it, so it tends to soak into the key lines. And it actually helps put things back together like this. We'll see. Remind me when we're doing our color transfers to look at this corner. And if it's still showing, then we'll do a repair. We'll chop out and do a repair. What's this? I thought mistakes were a myth. Duct tape. The patch and repair. So I remember that. We had to excavate all kinds of stuff. We put a big piece of wood in there. I can't remember. The repairs happen, Of course, repairs happen. No, nothing popped out. It seems when I was using the clearing chisel, I'm not going to try and reenact it because I'll do it again. I must have just got too close to the line. I don't know. I didn't actually see it happen. Asleep at the wheel. Who knows? Is our time okay? I wasn't watching. What's our time? 9:05. Okay, we do have a show and tell today, of course. And we've got a show and tell. Actually, it's one of those show and tells that's a big box of stuff, so we won't get through it all. We'll just show the thing itself as a concept, and then have a look. But we'll talk about it when we get to it. I may have shown similar kinds of prints before. I'm not quite sure exactly. It's impossible for me now to remember what we've actually seen and what we haven't seen. So I don't think this particular folder of prints has been in the show and tell before, but perhaps the same genre of prints has been. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody can let me know if it's too much of a repeat. You can let me know. I don't know. And actually, the reason that I'm going to pull that particular folder of prints today is because Watanabe-san and I were looking at it the other day. Some prints came in for our flea market that she will be putting up on the website in a few days, and she wanted more background information on them. So we have a bunch of the same kind of prints in the collection. So I was showing her this folder explaining how it worked. So I kept the folder, I left the folder on my desk. So I saw it this morning and I thought, okay, good. Let's just use that for today's show and tell. So it's a topic that came up here the other day. So the same prints we're going to look at today, there are similar ones going in. She's going to be putting them in the flea market in a few days or so. So not the exact same ones, but something similar. Oh, it's the Oshibori guy, is it? Soka. I saw him the other day, It's funny, too. I was out at the 7-Eleven grabbing dinner. This is like not yesterday, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago. I don't remember. And he was parked, the same truck, open at the back, the same guy inside. I know who it is because I've talked to him about shutting the engine off and stuff like this. And this was 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the evening. And he was still doing a run or doing another run or doing the evening run or something. I don't know. So he's here now this morning at, what is it? It's 9 o'clock or so. But he certainly, I don't know about every day, but sometimes also, the same guy with the same truck and the same business, was on an evening run about 12 hours later. And I'm sure it's not like the same guy doing it all day long. Maybe there's a morning group they do, and then it's a shift. It's an evening group they do. Maybe I don't know how it works. So. Or maybe they're on call and restaurants call that we've run out of oshibori or stuff like that. I don't know. It's a rental service, né? The restaurants don't own the oshibori. This company owns them, and the restaurant simply rents them. So shibori. You know, it's the way that an elegant waitress in a high-class tea house would have said. She'd presented this guy the towel. It's for squeezing out. And o is the honorific ocha. This is o shibori desu. We don't talk like that in normal Japanese, but that became the name of the product. So it's a small towel that you would open up and are they going to clean up the can? No way, it's not their job. Wouldn't do that. Also, they wouldn't even think of that. You're not going to. You have a truck full of clean stuff. You're not going to mix garbage with stuff in your clean truck. There's no way would he touch that can. Absolutely. They have smiles, you know, this guy is smiling across at her and she's smiling, but I'm not sure if I got the smile on the cap good enough. I don't know. Nothing I can do about it now. There's a little curve on the face. I'm not sure if I got it curved enough. We'll see if Jed notices. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I think that will do us here for the first session here for the carving this morning. Let's see if we can zoom in, have a look. My flask is in the way here. I don't know if it'll go in any further. That's it. That's all we're going to get. We'll see. We'll have a new camera next week, actually, and we'll see. Or I hope we'll have a new camera. Maybe it'll allow us to get a bit more zoom. I don't know. We'll find out next week. Then we have lots more clearing. This all has to be cleared. I'll be using a larger chisel to do that. Okay, let's have a look at our show and tell. The clock is showing seconds. I figured out how to do that. Don't get me started on that topic again, the OS problems. I still have huge problems with the settings of the email program. Okay, you've seen these black folders before. Any of you who've been in the room, you know upstairs there's rows and rows and rows of black folders. We have an endless row and row and row of black folders. Okay, there's good news and bad news here. The good news is we have interesting prints. The bad news is I don't have a full set. And the other bad news is I haven't even got this organized and sorted out. You've all heard about the Tokaido, Hiroshige's Tokaido set. He did that in the 1930s. The show, I need help on this. 1932 to 34 something was Hiroshige's original Tokaido set. He didn't stop there. that set was so popular, hugely popular, one of the most popular things that had ever happened in the world of Japanese prints. He was asked to do more. Different publishers. It is drifting, isn't it? I thought I said it, and then it didn't. I thought I said it, and the flask came back. Okay, sorry. Nice pen, so Hiroshi was asked, it seems, again and again, for the rest of his life, basically, he was asked many times, commissioned to do more Tokaido sets. He did horizontal sets, vertical sets, small sets, card sets, big sets, small sets, partial sets, you name it. This is the next set that he published, that was published over his name after the big famous Tokaido set. That was in the 1934 something, 1834. This would have been maybe 5 or 6 years later, 1840 or so. And then after that, a couple of times a year, he had a new set. So his big famous set came out. There was a gap of 5 or 6 years, and then bang, from there till the rest of his life, that's almost pretty much all he did was Tokaido sets. And this is the set that's called the Kyoka Tokaido. It's all different designs. It's the same stations, but they're all different designs, and each one has a satirical poem. And I am not going to read it and quote it and translate it for you. They're all out there on the net. This is Kyoka poetry in each one, so the prints are called the Kyoka Tokaido. And something really interesting about these is this. This is hand-carved. We can see the leftover marks of the carving and the clicks and the pops and stuff like that. And it is sort of hand-printed and sort of not hand-printed. This is what's called in Japan these days Kikai Mokuhankan, machine woodblock printing. And the print you're looking at here, the one I'm holding in my hand here, this dates from late Meiji or Taisho. This is not from Hiroshige's era. It dates from a reproduction made in late Meiji or Taisho. And it is made partly by machine. Now, like I said, the block set, the key block and the color blocks were made apparently in the normal way, although the registration system must have been different. The blue you see is printed from a piece of wood. The black lines are printed from a piece of wood. The black lines show evidence of being actual ink. So we think that the key blocks were printed in a printing press. The paper goes into the press, click, 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 click. And whether they were printed from the actual wooden block or whether they were printed from a metal block that had been duplicated from the wooden block, we don't know. There's no way to tell from physically looking at it. But the color blocks were printed by machine with a guy running the machine. And the key to this is, let me find a couple of examples here that really show vividly. Here it is, look at this. Here is the key to how this works. One, it is not beautiful Japanese handmade washi. This is a very soft pulp paper, very thin, very soft. There are no barren marks on the back. The pigment has gone into the paper, but it hasn't been scooped in, rubbed up from the back. The key to telling which prints are these, look at the horizontal striations. The entire surface of the print, every color, every square centimeter of every color has horizontal striations. Can you see them? Now normally we have sometimes brush marks. When the printer is brushing out the pigment, we will get brush marks left, and they will represent the way that the brush moved. These are brush marks, and they're all completely horizontal. And the way this stuff worked is this. After the key block was printed, it came to a sort of quasi-printing press. The green color block would be on the press there. There's a bar at the left-hand side with some kind of inking pad. The brush, a long, thin brush, goes cluck, cluck, cluck into the pad. And then the guy goes ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Sort of like a silkscreen squeegee, but this is on the block face. The guy goes ka-chunk, ka-chunk. The brush goes left to right, leaving these horizontal lines. The paper then goes on, and a bar comes down, a clamp, a platen comes down, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, off it comes, out the paper goes. Ink, chunk, chunk, next one, paper on, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. So it's mechanically, it's a hand-operated mechanical printing press. The thing as a real genre, hundreds and hundreds and thousands were published this way. The curious point about this, the one that I have no answer for, and I would love to get these prints in hand and look at them, the MFA, the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, has a copy of this same Kyoka set. The carving is a little bit different. It's supposed to be an original set from Hiroshige's era, 1840s. And it shows the same horizontal striations. And it's hard to believe that they were doing that back in the 1840s. This was a Taisho era when they were experimenting with different kinds of printing to try and make it faster and cleaner and cheaper. This is very much a Taisho production. But the MFA copy also shows these complete horizontal striations. And I would love to get in there and have a look at that and look at the back and see if there's barren marks and see what's going on. Because I can't imagine that was happening in 1840. So there's lots of mysteries here. There's lots of unanswered questions in all of these prints. And through that entire era, Meiji Taisho, all the publishers were experimenting with everything they could possibly do to make these things cheaper, 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 cheaper. Nobody was thinking about quality like that. They were just trying to get the stuff into the market as cheaply as possible. Look at the registration. No, I'm not. This is not one of those stories where I'm accusing the museum of having forgeries or stuff like that. No, not at all, not at all, not at all. The MFA has a copy which is pretty much, they say, pretty well documented, blah, 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 blah. But I'm really, really curious how it was made. I really would learn. It's not the same blocks. I looked at an enlargement. They have good enlargements there. And it's clearly not the same blocks. So the MFA doesn't have one of these sets in their collection, or not the one that they've got on the website. So please don't misunderstand. This is not that kind of story. I am very curious to see what they have, and I would like to learn more about it. But look at that registration. This is unusual too, because when we get misregistration in our prints like this much, what normally happens is the blocks expand top to bottom, top to bottom. A plank of wood, I mean the one I'm using today is plywood, but if this wasn't plywood, this block as time goes by is going to expand and contract this way. It's almost never going to expand and contract this way. That's not how wood works when it absorbs moisture. It will absorb horizontally, the grain lines wide and narrow. But if this had been made with a normal type of set of wood blocks, the blocks of wood would have been on the length here, and this would be against the grain. But these machine printed prints always show misregistrations this way, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The only thing that makes sense is if they were made on larger blocks. If you think about it, if they were made on larger blocks, for example, 2 at a time, then the blocks are expanding this way, and we see the misregistration happening this way on the print, different from what we normally see on a woodblock print. So I don't know. I would love to have the time machine and go back and see that thing. And if that's the case, if they're made on the blocks this way, then that bar I talked to you about, the bar that does the drawing of the color across it, the bar would have been a front to back bar. Here it is, dip, dip, dip. The bar slides forward and back. The colors are slipped across the surface of the print. Down comes the platen and you print it. I would love to see one of those machines, because there's just so many things that don't add up. All the color misregistration is all the wrong direction. You can see it here. You can see these misregistrations. Where am I? Look at this, the tree. The tree color, it's off by a huge amount. Here on the white trees. And this registration is off this way. Here, again, look, the edge of this blue. And there's no misregistration vertically, which is the way normal ukiyo-e misregistration happens. Look at this, look at this, look at this. They've totally missed it. The tree color totally misses the tree. Nobody cares. Sell it. There's also horinuki. There's white spaces. There's another white space here. This is not exactly high quality, high class work. You know. The copy in the MFA, or as far as I can see from casual browsing of the images on the MFA website, they don't show all those carving mistakes. So again, please understand, I'm not accusing them of having a machine printed print. I don't know. but the copy they have also shows those striations. Very, very, very curious. These come up here in Japan quite a lot. They're on Yahoo auctions all the time. I still haven't managed to assemble a full set of them. I'm not really that interested in this stuff, so Dave is not trying really hard to assemble his full set of these prints. And as I mentioned, the reason we have this book out here right now is because Watanabe-san was asking me how does this work, because she has some Oban prints, some Hiroshige Omi Hake prints that are machine printed as well. And she'll be putting those in the flea market in a couple of weeks. And she's like, are these rare? Are these expensive? And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not. They will be of interest to people, but they're not. They're not rare and expensive. You know. Oh, arigatou gozaimasu. Kubota kara?
いや、千葉県の河合様。
Ah, Kawai-san kara. Okay, okay, good. Domo, thank you. More goodies from our printers. We get 9 people. Busy printing. 9 people printing. I'm upstairs dosa again. I've got to do dosa for Kubota-san, for Chiharu-san, for Mr. K. I got to do dosa for 3 people, sizing for 3 people today. They're okay. The other thing about this design, these designs are, I think I got in trouble the other day when I showed you those pictures from the Hiroshige Sumida Gawa series. Also, I got an email. My friend Jacques wrote to me and said, Dave, I'm really surprised you forgot, because I should have really remembered where those locations were. And he's chiding me gently and friendly that I've forgotten about this. So that was my last attempt at a guiding tour around Asakusa. But actually, I think I said on that series, I said Hiroshige was phoning it in. And the stick figures in there, they're just awful. They're awful. This is something in between. This doesn't have the attractiveness of his main real Tokaido series, but nor does it have the phone-in, quick sketch style. This is something in between. Excuse me. These are sort of okay. This is about as minimal as you want to get that you would dare put in front of the marketplace. You know, they're real people. It's okay. But the ones on the print we saw yesterday, they were out of scale. They were strangely drawn. These are sort of okay. This is not Hiroshige at his best, but neither is it something that he should really have been ashamed of. You know, it's all viewpoint. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, there we have it. We're not going to go through the whole set. There's no point to it. There's nothing specifically attractive about it. I just wanted to make sure we knew what was going on with these mechanical woodblock prints. So let's do it. There's a box that's just arrived. Let's do what we did the other day. I know what's inside. This is a package of prints that's just arrived from Kawai-san. Let's open it and see how he did on his newest job. This one is late too. Kawai-san wasn't late with it, but I was late getting it organized and sent out to him. So we have back orders. There are people waiting for this print. Absolutely, there are people waiting. Look, Kawai-san, give me a break. Breaking news, green tape shortage in Japan. He's more careless than I am, if it's possible. Kubota-san packs like he was sending it out to the Queen or something. Kawai-san, he knows it's going today. He's just going to get it out to me. Where's the prince? How can I get rid of this? Only $1. The other thing different here is we show you these prints by Kubota-san. I opened the package You can even see the way Kubota-san wraps gorgeously. He takes care gorgeously. Every aspect of Kubota-san's work is designed to be perfect as much as he can. Kawai-san is still a young guy. He doesn't have the same feeling and the same ethic. He knows that Dave's just going to rip this open and throw away the packaging, so he doesn't care about the packaging. So it's okay, he's right. But it still disturbs me a little that Kawai-san isn't trying to become a Kubota-san. I don't know, whatever. And we're also not going to see 100 perfectly exactly the same prints. Kawai-san is working at a slightly different level. We're going to see about 50 prints or so here. I think it's too bright. But they will be nicely made because Kawai-san is coming along very well. This is a back number. This is from our portrait series from 2014, I think. From 2014. And Kawai-san is coming along very, 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 very well. He's done a good job here. It's not the full stack of 100. There's about 50 copies here, but they will be consistent. Look at this. The colors are consistent, sheet to sheet to sheet. The gradations match, the colors match. Kawai-san is doing very well. He's slow and steady compared to the top guy like Kubota-san, but he actually is coming along very well. About half of these are spoken for. We have people waiting for these. He's done a very nice job. This is actually not trivial, not easy at all. To get the lightness here. Look at this, the key block, how light the key block is on the face compared to the dark of the other lines. And there's an embossment in the background. Very nice, very nice. I knew I could open it with no fear, because I know Kawai-san has done a very nice job. And there's his name. This is Hori Carving Kawasaki Sudi Kawai Atsushi. I can never remember his first name. Kawai Atsushi. He's done a very, very, very nice job. But there's only 50 of them, so he'll have to get back and do another 50, because we need more. We absolutely need more. They're very, very, very popular series. How do I decide which jobs are given to which printers? This is interesting. I know there's a bunch of different factors. One, I need efficiency. I would love to give every job to our best printer, Kubota-san. I can't do that, of course. I have 9 people to feed. So I have to think, is that person one, the people who are not the top perfect printer, the people here who are training or have only got 10 years experience instead of 50 years experience, what suits? The printers working here, all of them are producing professional work. There's nobody here sort of training and doing partial work. They're all professionals doing work. I didn't need 100 copies of this. I needed 50 copies only, so it didn't go to Kubota-san. What can I say? What comes into play? Many factors. I have to also mix it up. I can't send the same one to the same printer all the time. That just drives them crazy. So probably when I was looking at my work roster here, maybe Mr. K, Kawai-san, hadn't done this one yet, so I sent it to him to have a go at it. So it's the speed, how fast I need it. Some of them are technically difficult. There's prints that we have in our catalog that I would send to Kubota-san, but wouldn't yet send to Kawai-san, because I think it might be too much of a challenge for him. I can't just give him easy work. It's got to be challenging, but not so challenging that he can't do a job that can go out to the customers. So I can't easily explain in words. I have to balance all these different things. So somebody's saying, do we play favorites? No. We also have to think about money, because the prints all pay different amounts based on their retail price and sometimes inside the series. The series is all the same price, but there might be one print with 12 colors, 6 colors, 10 colors, 15 colors, 8 colors. They're all going to differ, but the printers all get the same amount for them because the series price is the same. So I have to keep this in mind. If I have sent printer A some stuff that's all too many colors, and I send printer B the ones that are not so many colors, printer B is laughing all the way to the bank. So I have to mix and match. When they get a tough one, I got to remember, Dave, you pushed them last time, give them something a bit easier this time. So that's another factor that comes into play. Nice job, nice job, nice job. I will check these now one by one. I may have to pull out Chidi in some of the lighter spots. There might be bark in the face or in the dress or something like this. And then over they go to Ome. And they are waiting. I have to do this job today. Okay, we're out of here. It's Monday. I'm off on my holiday as it is for 3 days. I'll be back here Thursday morning for me, Wednesday night for most of you. I will by then almost certainly have been pushing ahead on this block. And given that it's 3 days, I may actually have been finished this block. So we may be seeing some color transfers and peeling and stuff like that. Or we may not. I don't know. But something like that will be happening. Let's get to the outside camera. Pull it up. And I'll see you next time. I'm enjoying this actually these days. You know, by the way, just so you know, the ear problem thing is gone. And I was in the pool today, just for the people who are curious about it. I swim a length, water comes out of the ears. There's no problem at all. The ear problems were simply too many years of too much stuff built up. So it does seem to be all fixed, all clear. Look at that can, that lonely can all by itself. Okay, I guess nothing else is going to be happening out there. Going to sign off. I'll see you again in 3 more days. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.